So this young couple gets married. They got the just married sign on the back of the car, and all the cans just dangling on the strings, bouncing off the pavement as they drive, and they're on their way to this beautiful honeymoon paradise on a lake. It's just absolutely perfect setting, right? And on their way there, they're passing another car who's got the just married sign in the back, and the cans just dangling on the road. And as they drive by, the new husband looks over at the other new husband, and you give him a little tip of the hat, and they keep on going. All right, so they get to their honeymoon suite, and the young couple checks in, and they get to the bedroom, and as soon as that door closes, they're in the bed, and they're just getting it done, man. They're just rocking and rolling, bebopping, and having some fun. And in the middle of coitus, while these two are just digging down, the husband happens to look out the window, and he looks over and he sees the dock in the distance. And he looks over at the dock, and he sees that guy that he just passed on the road sitting back in a chair, casting out a pole, just fishing. Right? He doesn't think anything of it. He just keeps on going. Just keeps on going with his wife, right? So they get done a little bit later. They clean up. They go. They get some food. And after they're done, they run right back to the room. And they jump in the bed. And they cuppity boop bop and biggity boo. And they're just getting down and getting busy and having a good time. And in the middle of coitus, the husband happens to look out the window, and it's getting kind of dark, but he could just see the moon like catching the water, and he sees on the end of the dock there's this guy, same guy, just casting lines, sitting there fishing, just fishing, having a good old time, right? Doesn't think anything of it. He just keeps on going. Husband and wife, they fall asleep, right? Next morning they wake up. Guy wakes up, and he's got a bingity boppity boop sticking straight out, and he says, I'm gonna use it. He rolls over on his new wife, and they start tearing up the sheets, right? And they're going for a little while, and the guy looks out of the window in the middle of sex, and he says, what the hell? There's that guy out there casting a line, just fishing, right? He's just out there fishing, having a good time. So as soon as they're done, they get cleaned up, and he says, baby, I'm gonna take a little walk if you don't mind. He goes, I just want to take a little walk. And she says, you know what, that's all you. She goes, I can't walk right now anyway. So gives her a little wink, and he heads on out the door, and he starts walking towards this dock where he catches this guy out there fishing, right? And he says, hey there, brother, how you doing? The guy says, pretty good. How you doing? And he says, I'm all right. He says, I gotta ask you a question though. He says, fire away. It's a beautiful day. He says, my man, we're here at this beautiful honeymoon suite, and I saw you riding up with your wife. He says, how come you're out here fishing instead of giving her the old bippity bop? And he says, well, there's a reason for that. He says, my wife, well, she's got a pretty serious case of gonorrhea. And the guy says, oh, yeah, I could see why you don't want to go there, but it's your honeymoon. Why not just flip her over and from the backside, And he says, well, that would be lovely too. I'm not gonna lie to you, but she does have a pretty steady case of diarrhea going. And he says, oh, yeah, no, you don't want to unplug that hole. No, else, I get it, but I mean, there's got to be some. I mean, what about a little bit of oral down there? Maybe she can go ahead and get it. He stops him right there. He says, no, can't do that. You see, she's got this pretty bad gum disease, and there's just something, you just don't want to go in there. You don't want to mess with that. And the guy says, oh, well, that sounds awful. And he says, well, I'm trying to help you out here, buddy. What about an old fashioned? What about a good old little handy job there? Maybe she could help you out. And he says, yeah, again, that'd be pretty lovely. But you see, she's got these calluses right all over her hands. It's kind of like a coral reef, and she would just mangle me if she even tried that. The guy says, wow, man. He says, I feel bad for you. He says, can I ask you another question though? And the guy says, absolutely, fire away, as he casts his line out into the water. He says, she's got all this stuff going on. Why did you marry her? And the guy said, oh, well, that's a no-brainer. You see, aside from all that stuff, she also has a really serious case of the worms. And well, I just really like to fish. Boo-boo!